Hello everyone, welcome back to the Book Stamp. I'm Kate, and today we have a new segment called Hot Takes with Kate. Anyways, so today I'm going to give my hot take on the much beloved book Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I loved. Don't get me wrong, I loved. Probably in my favorite books of the year. 5 stars, 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was my heart, it was my soul. But today, the hot take is Red, White, and Royal Blue is the best version I've read of contemporary Southern literature. Now, when I heard about this book, did I think it was Southern lit? No. Did I expect it to be Southern lit? No. But was it? Absolutely. So first off, our author Casey is from the Deep South. She's from Louisiana, and that definitely impacted her writing so much. And it was not what I was expecting at all, but our characters, mainly Alex June and their mom, Ellin Claremont, the President of the United States, as in the words of Hamilton, Southern motherfucking Democratic Republicans! It was what I didn't know I needed, was to have a powerful, strong Southern Democrat woman portrayed as the President of the United States. Ellen was actually probably the character I related to the most when she had to talk to Alex about his relationship with Prince Henry, and she made a PowerPoint that was exploring your sexuality, healthy, but does it have to be with the prince of a foreign rival? Something I would literally do, hands down. I loved it so much. And just her lines about, as your mother, I love you, but as the President of the United States, I want the CIA to cover up your death. Things my parents would say to me if they were President of the United States, literally. I brought you into this world and I'll take you out of it, you know? And it was just so amazing to see that representation. But what really sold this book to me as a book of contemporary Southern literature, I think specifically it's the lens of people of a left-wing political spectrum who grew up living in the Deep South. But is that I can't tell you how many times I've talked to my friends and people who don't live in the South who are oh well, we just have to write the South off because it's backwards, it's so we're super majority Republican or whatever, and they just don't understand at all the view you have when you have grown up in this world that is dominated by right-wing policies and right-wing politics, and how that influences your political beliefs. And other people are oh, I'm so scared of Trump being president. It's okay, well, I've been living in a state where worse than Trump have been elected regularly to the Senate and the House, and so does that mean I'm thrilled with Trump? No. Anyways, I'm rambling. But really, it was the section of the book where Alex's office mate in his office is a left-wing guy from Boston, and Alex has his Texas binder where he has poured his love into the state of Texas, and it's not even that he's trying to turn the state blue, it's that he's trying to undo years of discriminatory voter laws and voter suppression that have severely limited the voices of people of color, marginalized voices in the South. Because that's what it is. It's not that the South doesn't have these voices. The South is where a huge majority of the queer population of the US live, and a huge population of the people of color of the South live. And yet it is represented by these very right-wing, very conservative, racist politicians a lot of the time. And so he goes on this whole spiel to this guy about how, what he's saying about the South isn't true. It is not reflective of the policies, and to write off all of these people is wrong. It is morally wrong. And I just lived for it. It was so beautiful. It was everything I needed. I've literally written those types of Facebook posts before where people are saying that who Tennessee votes for in the Democratic primary doesn't matter because the state's going to turn red. That's just fundamentally not true. It devalues the voices of so many people. I also really connected from having a queer voice coming out of the South, sort of the idea that Alex didn't really even realize he was bi until he was in his mid-20s, which is really the experience of, I think, so many people who have grown up in these cultures, like, it's not only in the South, but that's my point of view, but where that's like not an option. You don't see it. It's like, I didn't know what bisexual was, what it meant, like how you don't understand how to process these feelings you have because there's no sort of way to do that. There's no examples. And so, especially when you're growing up in like this conservative Christian life, even if that's not what your family does, like it's still just around you, and how these feelings are just sort of put into different boxes of like, oh, that's friendship, like that's my best friend. And like then as Alex is learning and growing, he realizes, oh no, that wasn't friendship, like that was way more than that. It was like love and romance, and it means I'm bisexual. And so just Alex's entire story of understanding who he is, and then also just his speech at the end where he talks about how Texas made him and it shaped who he is, and like he's never going to forget that, and like how his Mexican heritage is also a part of who he is, and his bisexuality is a part of who he is. It was beautiful. Like that book meant so much to me. Like I finished it, I think, I finished it yesterday, literally filming this, and I just had to get my thoughts out. And I think everyone should read it. It's amazing, and especially Southerners, left-wing Southerners who just really didn't realize how much we needed to hear that voice in literature. And so I'm very excited for everything Casey does in the future. Okay, so Editing Kate is here, and I just read Casey McQuiston's next novel is a Kate Leopold style lesbian love story between a fifth-year college student and a 1970s Stonewall era woman who's displaced in time. And somehow that's better than anything I could have imagined. So I'm definitely gonna be pre-ordering that soon, and I just thought that that was worth an update. And go read Red, White, and Royal Blue if you want a less like weird, rambly, just emotional gushing type take. This was one of the most popular books on BookTube last year, so there's literally 1,000 book reviews, so go listen to one of those who made a much better logical video than I have done here.